Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, spiritual global entrepreneurs. Welcome to the EGU podcast, Abundance Frequencies. You're with Michelle Reinhardt. Let's get cracking. We're going to learn how healing shifts resistance to abundance. And to do that, I've invited a global relationship expert, a valued member of my online community, Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. Every time I see this lovely lady show up, it's always with full transparency and authenticity. So hello and welcome to the show, Louise Armstrong.
Wow, thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. It's a huge honour and a wonderful privilege to be with you and all the listeners today.
Thank you very much, Louise. Folks, please grab a pen and paper, turn off your zings and pings for 30 minutes. Stick with us until the end for your freebie. Take a nice big deep breath with us and relax. We invite you to set your full intention to learn a different set of practical yet dynamic game-changing strategies you can apply to your life and relationships immediately. So let me tell you about this gorgeous lady. Louise is a family relationship coach, transforming lives one by one, empowering women to heal their relationships, let go of the pain and hurt, to enjoy love, peace, and fulfillment in their lives. Having healed a lifelong destructive relationship with her mother totally alone, which also impacted greatly on her eldest daughter, she now enjoys a very loving relationship with both of these special people in her life. Without having a single conversation with the person who's hurting them, Louise helps women to live a life of freedom with a clear heart. Her mission is to touch the hearts of women worldwide, spreading the message that change in any relationship starts on the inside, letting go of the pain and the hurt. Wow, Louise, I am really excited to have you with us today. Would you please share your story and why you do what you do?
Yeah, I will. I'll keep it as brief as I can because I do get very passionate about how I've come to where I am today. I am 51 years old, and for 35 years of my life, I've suffered a really destructive relationship with my mother. And I really didn't understand the impact it had on my life. The mother-daughter relationship is the most intense, powerful one you will ever have as a woman. And I had no idea the impact it had on my finances, and all my other relationships in my life. I thought I was leading my life okay, never mind mum. So for many, many years, I really tried to make this work. I live abroad in Dubai. I've been here for 14 years. Mum and dad are back in the UK. So there's been a lot of toing and froing and visiting and such. And I've tried everything I could to make this relationship better. For mum to accept me, I needed mum's praise. I needed mum's acceptance just for who I was. I'm a good girl, but I wasn't getting it. And the harder I tried, the lower my self-esteem came. So I was kind of like this high. And the worse it got, the worse the relationship got. And I was at my wit's end. There was a moment when we were staying with mum and dad, and my husband was with me. And I asked mum to love me for who I was, just accept me for who I was. And she said no. And she also said, I will never change. So I was heartbroken. We left very soon after that. I took a 6.5 hour plane ride back to Dubai, almost 7 hours. And this is for everybody here. You need to make a decision with what you're going to do in life. And this was my finite time. In those hours, I decided whether I was going to have a relationship with my mum or have nothing more to do with him. I had to change. Mum told me she wasn't going to change. She's right. She doesn't know how. Wow. I had no idea how. So I had a choice. For the first time in my life, I took responsibility for me. Wow. So those wheels touched the ground in Dubai, and that was it. I couldn't not have anything more to do with mum and dad. So that was the decision. So the wheels touched the ground, and that was it. I didn't know what to do. No idea in my life. Knew very little about personal development. Didn't occur to me to seek help. But that's what I did. that was the changing point in my life. I couldn't do it alone. 35 years, it wasn't working.
Wow.
So that's what I did. I sought help. I did a coaching course. While I was doing that coaching course, I was also a futures trader in the financial markets. Loved what I did. But it lacked one very, very important thing for me: people.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that at the time. I didn't realize. But Michelle, it didn't occur to me. You know, I had my friends and whatever, but I didn't have the passion in my business. So I embarked on the coaching course. Did a lot of other bits and pieces as well. Did some hypnotherapy. You know, you start on the course, you start learning stuff as you go along. And I didn't speak to Mum for 6 months. Did a lot of work, was all done on me. Totally me alone. Invited Mum and Dad to come and stay in Dubai for 2 weeks. And miracle upon miracles, we've had the best 2 weeks we've ever had in our lives. One time, what have you done? So from then it's just got better and better and better. I had a holiday with Mum and Dad last year. Mum threw a big birthday party for me. I had my 50th back in the UK with all my friends, which Mum held the party. The relationships really improved with my children because that was becoming very destructive as well, because the children saw the way I treated my mum and with my husband as well. So my whole life has changed beyond recognition. We've also, just as a side impact here, but very, very important for anyone, any of you out there suffering in a relationship, it severely affected my finances. I made really bad decisions because of my relationship with my mum. I was in a blame mode. And so these have turned around from the financial situation at the time that my relationship was at its lowest with my mum. Our outgoings were actually greater than our salaries, which is not a good place to be in when you live abroad, especially in Dubai. And it was all self-destructive, self-sabotage as to how we got to that position. So once I started the healing process, so the finances improved, and now we're looking to buy a piece of land near Mum and Dad back in the UK for when we go back in the return to the UK in a couple of years' time.
So a toxic relationship spread toxicity right throughout your life.
Absolutely, and I had no idea. I had no idea this was going on. But my whole energy, my whole vibration was all in blame factor because I was so focused on Mum. I needed this love and praise from her, and I wasn't getting it. But it's very, very interesting here because I'm actually having my story ghostwritten. And what I missed, and this is my, one of my real core messages to everyone, Mum did love me, but not in a way I could see.
Yes.
Because I was surrounded by anger and blame and resentment and frustration for her. I didn't see the love she was trying to give me. And so it was like a little golden thread.
It just wasn't the way that you needed it presented to you.
Absolutely. That was it in a nutshell, Michelle.
Yeah.
And because I became more and more enshrouded in my own little prison here of Mum should be doing this. She is a mother. She was very controlling, and that control aspect I took unknowingly onto my eldest daughter. I have 3 children.
Oh, goodness me.
And I ended up pushing her right away. So much so we didn't really get along with her boyfriend at the time, and we stopped talking. She was living in London, etc., etc. He ended up leaving her. Now we've healed that relationship, and this daughter of mine, Charlotte, who's 26 years old, I've never ever talked about our relationship or anything because I respect she's young.
Yes.
She saw me writing an article on the mother-daughter between myself and my mum, and she said, "Why don't you ever write about us, Mum?" And I said, "I need to protect you. I didn't want to ask you. I didn't want to put you in the position." She said, "No, Mum, so many people are suffering. Please tell the world."
You've got
so there we go.
Goosebumps. Okay, so I'm sure that there are plenty of listeners, and let's just remind people that there is no accident that you're here tuning in and listening to this story today, because we are very good at projecting our pain out there and looking for solutions out there in the world, in the next bright shiny object, the next big flat screen TV, whatever it might be to satisfy that need in you. But Louise, where should we be looking?
Right inside of us, because seriously, that's where it all lies. And I had a client this week the other week, not this week, sorry, who came to me with a piece of paper with 10 people she wanted to change. 10 people in her life, her mum, her mother-in-law, all these people she felt had wronged her. And miracle upon miracles, she's changed her, and she came back to me with the piece of paper and said, they've all changed. And I said, no. Yeah. He said, oh, and it was just, I've gone all goose. It was just, that's why I do what I do, Michelle, because that is just amazing to me that someone can go through that transformation. But with my own transformation from doing the coaching course I did, I was invited to be a coach myself. And at the time I thought, why would I do that?
Yes.
And then 5 minutes later I thought, why wouldn't I?
Well, it's true that many of our lessons, and the harder they've been, the more rewarding they are when you finally get to the other side. We learn these things so that we can teach others. And hopefully, and this is my greatest desire with my own coaching and energy work, to short track their progress so they don't have to spend the years of torment and torture. And that's the beauty of grabbing onto someone that you resonate with, that shares your message, that can fast track things for you. In our world today, with frequencies, the faster they're moving, we don't have to do all well, yes, we have to do the soul searching, but we don't have to do the years of regression therapy that we once needed to do.
Absolutely.
Now, Louise, I have a question that I really want to talk to you about, and it's the mirror philosophy. So for people sitting there thinking, oh my God, maybe the problem isn't out there, perhaps I do need to look at myself. What does this mirror philosophy mean to you?
When I sat down and accepted where I was, my whole life, and I looked at what was going on in my life, my relationships, my finances, my health. I'd had a lot of health issues as well. I've actually had about 10 operations all to do with gynae, all sorts of things.
Sorry, can I ask, what were they to do with? Because I'm very curious there.
Okay, they were all I'm very blessed to have 3 children, because I was actually sterile by the age of 29.
This is this anger and pain eating at your body.
Absolutely. And I was in and out with all sorts of stuff, huge pain. I ended up with a hysterectomy, a lot of complications, all surrounding this time. The finances, that was complete self-sabotage. Everything was in self-sabotage. And the moment when we talk about the mirror, that I accepted that what I was looking at is, wow, this actually doesn't come from outside. This is me. This is actually what I am projecting. So when I got all these things, and I did actually write things down on paper, I thought, this is me. I am making these things happen.
Wow. And this is, some people say that this was a spiritual awakening, because you've just got to the place where it's like, my goodness, what is going on?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was
amazing. And even today, and let me just say again, our stories are even more parallel than I thought, because very same story with reproductive stuff and hysterectomy early and all those sorts of things, and mother issues and all those sorts of things. Is crazy. Our mothers are so very important in our lives. There's no question about that. But they can only teach us what they learned.
Absolutely.
They don't have the benefit of Google and, all of the therapies and treatments and that we have in this beautiful, wonderful age of ours. So they just need to be loved for what they did. And they, as you said, your mum did love you.
She did. I didn't see her. I just didn't see the love. I mean, I actually taught my mum to hug. I live abroad, so there's a lot of time spent at airports. So I would, we'd greet at the airport, and I'd give mum the biggest hug, and she'd be there with her arms by her side.
Oh.
And I look around, and I'm desperate. I thought, well, why can't, you're not normal. hugs round here. She didn't know how to express what she, but it didn't mean, what I really learned was, it didn't mean she didn't need a hug.
No.
So I hugged her every time. Now, because I've taught her, not through conversation, through my behavior, how to hug and how good it feels, because she needs that feeling. It's the feeling. So now Mum is there with big open arms. And it's the best thing in the whole world. You know, I haven't even gone down the alleyway thing, and I can see Mum's arms are ready.
Oh, that's gorgeous. That's so beautiful.
So that is a really important message, is whatever you're wanting from that person, give it. They don't know. Don't assume they know. Don't assume they know. And the other important thing is, all my work isn't to make everyone have a loving relationship with their mum, because that may not happen. We cannot guarantee anything to do with that other person. But all things being equal, and we don't know when we're going to leave this earth, but my mission is for every woman to be able to stand by her mother's grave with a clear heart and know she has a clear heart. Whatever the relationship is, if you don't speak to your mum for another 20 years, that's fine, as long as your heart is clear and she's not destroying you every day. And that is the point. It's not about rekindling wonderful relationships. It can be, but that isn't the point of where we need to release this pain and hurt that is so intense, so intense.
I agree completely. And whilst we're focusing mother-daughter in what we're speaking about, this goes for all relationships.
Absolutely. It does with father-daughter. It does with your partner, very much so. I've been very blessed with a wonderful marriage. I've been married almost 28 years now. And I could have said, well, it's great. You know, we obviously have our ups and downs and all the rest of it. But going through this process, we've gone to a much deeper level without trying or making it happen, because it's come from inside. That energy's changed towards my husband. I can give more love.
Yeah, because because you can't give love unless you know love. And that love resonates within. And I made a post earlier today about love and the heart. And, you know, the soul resonates in the heart. That's where it's got to come from. And as soon as we can get our message out to more and more people to stop thinking in our heads and feel in our hearts, that's when things shift. That's
absolutely. Yeah. And it is hard. It is hard for people. It is hard for you out there, because you're not brought up to feel. You're brought up to look, and you're brought up to hear. We learn. We don't learn. We're not taught in school to feel. No, so it's hard. And it is something we have to learn.
And I don't know about you, but I very much grew up with the, you know, you've got kids, you know, are seen and not heard. Get outside. You know, we weren't spoken to. We didn't get to sit around the dining room table and have an open-ended conversation. So, I mean, full credit to anyone listening that's embarking upon a journey of self, of knowing, of loving, because it will mirror and reflect into every corner of your world.
It really will.
So let's talk about what happens to our energy field and our vibration when we're in a bad relationship as opposed to a good one.
When we're in a bad relationship, our energetic field, our energy is very low. So we get very tired, we feel exhausted, and that compounds, because whatever your main focus is on is going to be what you're going to vibrate on. So it's what your main, it's not that we don't, you know, we can't feel happy all the time. It's not about that. It's what your main focus is on. And if subconsciously you're in a negative vibration, that's what you're going to get more of and more of and more of and more of. So to increase our vibration, the very first thing I do before I work with anybody is I have a positivity challenge. And that is the 5 things that they do every day, purely to increase that vibration. So you know yourself. If you knock a cup of coffee over and you're in a really bad mood, that is just the end. You know, it makes it's 10 times worse. It's just a cup of coffee. Whereas if you feel in a good mood, okay, you spilled a cup of coffee, it's not so bad. And that's where we want to be, so we can cope with those small challenges in life, because we're vibrating at that higher level. And I like to work on, I don't know about you, Michelle, but I like to work on an 80-20 rule with everything in life because I'm far from perfect. So if I can do things 80% of the time, you know what? I get a thumbs up.
I'm with you. Absolutely. I agree completely. And with regards to the that low energy and the negativity, you know, you're right. We do get exactly what we're presenting back to us. That's the mirror once again. You know, if you're out there expecting, behaving doom and gloom, expecting doom and gloom, one of the classics I hear is bad things come in threes. You know, so people wait for the third one to come. You know,
they're manifesting it.
Change it at one. Look at it and just say, oh man, that shouldn't have happened, and shift it. Just go looking for the magic, the miracles, the smile at someone. They'll smile back at you. You know, there is just so many things that we can do. And I think it's true to say that often the way we wake up in the morning, our first thoughts can determine our whole day. So practice and train those first thoughts to be gratitude, to be, my goodness, what a beautiful day, or, you know, just what a great sleep I had, or whatever. Find something. There's always plenty to be grateful for. The fact that you've opened your eyes, you know, just start your day the right way. And I love your five tips. That's fantastic to, you know, get into that positive groove.
Yeah, because it really, then we can take the next stage in a much better frame of mind, because if we're feeling negative all the time, it's really hard to move forwards. So I have a process. It's small steps every day. I'm a very practical person. You know, I like to do practical things because people need to grasp on those in real life. You know, we're talking about things that day-to-day life. People need things to do when they've had a row at the office, when they've had a row with their partner. You know, you need tangible things to do. It's not just about imagining everything's marvelous when it's not.
Exactly.
You know, we need.
Yeah, and look, same with my work, because I remove energy blocks in people, and I can remove energy blocks because we have so many limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs. I can remove the energy, but what's the point if I don't give them the strategies to change the habit?
Yeah. So that's wonderful, Michelle, to do both. I mean, it couldn't be a better package for you, could it? Really?
No, it's amazing, and to give them that you know, to the recognition of, oh my gosh, I'm doing this again. Although the energy pattern's gone, but the habit is still there. It's like someone trying to give up cigarettes and getting that one cigarette straight after dinner. You know, you've got to do something different to form a new habit, because we are sadly habitual people.
We are.
Yeah. So what would you do as far as a technique that's particularly effective when reaching out to heal a relationship?
Okay. A technique I use is going around your day-to-day business. In the first instance, you're just aware. So you're just aware of your thoughts. So you might notice, let's just take, for example, rejection. So rejection could be your greatest thing that you're aware of as something negative that's holding you back. So it could be very simple throughout your day. You might smile at somebody and they don't smile back. They look the other way. How do you feel? Just take a note. Okay, you might feel a small rejection. You send a text to somebody. They don't reply. Okay, you might feel rejected again. You then invite someone to dinner and they've gone out with somebody else. You may feel rejection again. You cook the family meal. You take some extra time doing it. Nobody likes it. So what we highlight throughout that, and people journal this, so they write it in their journal, because we've got lots of negative, we've got loads of limiting beliefs. You know, Michelle, you know, we've got so much going on in there. And I like to look at the one that's dominant. So what is hurting you most at the moment? So we keep a note of rejection. So we know that that's something that's really holding us back, because that's becoming now dominant. I then do a regression meditation with clients where we go back through their childhood. About 5 times we look at where rejection's really reared its ugly head. We look at the situation of how you felt during that time, and that person will have felt deeply rejected. And we give it a new meaning. So that situation now has a different meaning. So the rejection then goes. So now It loses its power.
Yes.
Exactly what it is. So when you don't get that text back from that person, that's okay. They just didn't text me back. You're not taking it at such a deep level, because what it's actually triggering, you're not being affected by what's happening now. It's actually triggering a long time ago.
It's an old story.
Absolutely. And that's really what I do as a big technique. From a worry technique, just from the pure aspect of to try to stop people worrying about what's going on.
Which people do. That's, you know.
We all worry. And worry is a waste of time. Worry is an absolute waste of time. When you look at it with a conscious mind, it's a complete waste of time. I think everybody would agree when you analyze worry. So when I just get people to look at worry, that's all they do. The first stage is just to look at worry, just to notice. And that actually stops the energy in its tracks.
It does.
Because it can't keep spiraling down. Then you can say stop. You know, you actually say stop in your mind. You can have a stop sign in your mind, so that the energy really does stop. So first of all, you're aware. Secondly, you have a stop sign in your mind. And thirdly, you then end that sentence in a positive way.
Nice.
So
I love it.
3-stage thing. But I do it in 3 stages because it's too hard in the beginning. People will give up to finish every sentence. It's not going to work. So just to be aware, because most people are not aware. I certainly wasn't aware. The blame I had and the underlying anger I had towards a lot of things in life, because it was all my mum's fault. You know, that was what I was blaming. If I didn't have my mum's love, everyone else gets their mum's love, but me. So this stuff I'm doing in my life is all her fault. So take responsibility. You are responsible for how you react in life. Not what happens to you, how you react. So in relationships, it's how you react to that person. If you don't like what that person says to you, now the responsibility is yours, not theirs. How are you going to interact with them? Are you going to give them the power for you to feel bad day after day after day? We have a choice. Let's take that power back. We always have a choice.
We really do have a choice. There's no question about that. So, Louise, let's just make this nice and simple for our people listening. Are you able to boil this down and drill it down to 3 takeaway tips to help people look at and heal their relationships?
First thing, very, very simply, stop trying. Just stop trying. Just take the energy and the focus off that person. Stop trying to want something from them. Stop trying to need anything from them. Stop trying. That is the very first thing to do, is just to really take a step back, because all those things that you're trying to get them to say, you're trying to, you know, perhaps manipulate them into doing things for you, trying desperately hard, doesn't work. So just take a step back and do nothing. Just stop trying. And for some people, it can be a big relief. Because, wow, you know, I try so hard. I get this all the time. I try so hard.
Yes.
Secondly, look at your life. What is going on? This is the acceptance. What is going on in your life? Are these people making you feel like you do? Or is it you? Are you allowing these people to make you feel like you do? So when you look at yourself, you can understand that everything you need, and this is hard, this isn't easy, but it's all inside of you.
Yes.
It really is inside of you. So we don't need to look. We don't need to look anywhere at all. It's inside of us. We don't need to work it out with the next book, the next webinar, the next anything. We really don't. But this is really hard to do by yourself. And thirdly, you don't have to do it alone. I tried for 35 years to work it all out, and I couldn't. No. The minute I accepted, okay, it's not working. Now, when you ask for help, this is a huge sign of strength. And it is a sign of strength because it isn't easy to do. And we are often brought up to get on with it. You should be able to work this out, for goodness sakes. But the minute we say, hang on, I can't work this out, please help. That's it. That's when you open up a whole a lot of floodgates, and it's to me it's all about letting go, Michelle. We're letting go of pain, letting go of hurt. It's just getting rid of it all. We don't have to find anything.
No, we don't have to find anything. Well, we do. Actually, we do. We've got to find ourselves.
Yeah.
We've got to find that one in there that got lost along the way, that's probably quite hurt and sad. I will admit quite openly that I was 40 before I started really looking to find the big answers. So who am I? What do I want? What am I good at? That was after being, like everyone, a mum, a wife, a sister, a lover, a partner, all of those things, all of those labels. But what was it that made me tick? And that was when things shifted or started to for me. And like you, Louise, I did it on my own. And because we couldn't afford it at the time either. But it's amazing how the universe works, because even if you can't afford it right now, the very fact that you ask for help, that you recognize that you need assistance, if you take that time to be in stillness and you ask the questions, someone will present. Something will happen. We are not alone. We'll
find a way.
Yeah, you will find a way. And if you keep asking, you will definitely be led. Why else would our listeners be here?
Ask and let it go. You don't have to work out the how. Believe that you will find yourself. I mean, I think when I started letting go of the pain and all the hurt, finding myself came to me. It comes to you. It's there.
It is there. It's remembering, isn't it? It's it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And look, so what would be the first step that you took towards healing your relationship? Do you remember the very first step?
The very first step is acceptance. It's accepting that the situation as it is, and it isn't down to anyone else. It's actually down to me.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I took responsibility for who I was. And that's pretty amazing when I've been married for 20 odd years. I have 3 children. I live abroad. They're quite responsible acts to take, but actually responsibility for myself and my feelings and my future is the very first thing. And it can be a very painful realization when we're in a situation we don't like. And that's why we hide from it. But really understanding, I've got a big thing that you cannot love yourself if you don't know who you're loving. You really need to know who you are. And I will guarantee anyone, you will absolutely love yourself. Because some people have said to me, but what if I don't like myself very much? I think that's the one guarantee we can give, Michelle, is you will truly love.
In fact, you will be so beautifully blown away when you get down to the truth of who you really are, and you get rid of all those stories and the mud and the crap, and you really, all of the things that you thought that you didn't like about yourself, that you found hurtful, they're not yours.
No.
Because at the heart of us all is complete perfection. It's the stories that are imperfect.
Absolutely.
So I love that you say that. It's well worth the journey.
Absolutely, 100%. I look at life as I was born a perfect jigsaw, every piece in place. So I'm this perfect puzzle with every piece fitting. Somewhere along the way, the jigsaw got dropped and everything flew. And I honestly believe in my work and myself and everything in life, which is why I do what I do, is the jigsaw is now whole again. Because my soul feels complete. Right. And that is, someone said to me this week, don't you regret spending 35 years? Don't you wish you'd sorted it out with your mum or yourself or whatever earlier? And I said, no. I would not be the person I am today if I hadn't been through what I've been through. So I understand deep pain. I understand to be hurt so badly that you just want to run away. I get that. But also, I understand what it is to feel whole to know your purpose, your mission, and to understand deep love.
Well, Louise, on that note, where can people find you so they may take this journey to self-love, to healing their relationships faster than you and I ever did?
Yeah, that's the mission. Not 35 years. I promise you that one. My website is www.louise-armstrong.com. And for you, all the beautiful ladies out there, I have my Facebook group, which is Let's Talk Relationships and Life. And that's a closed group. And it's where you can just share all of your struggles, and we're there to support you and to really help you take that next step. We're all in a similar situation, and nobody judges anybody. So it's a very safe place.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I believe you have a very special gift for our listeners today.
I do. I have a relationship breakthrough guide, which you will also find on my website. The download is on there, so you can have that, and that will really help you to take those very first steps. And I'm very, very supportive of anybody, whether you're a client or not a client. I always answer and help anybody at all who reaches out to me, because I believe transformation, all these things come from the heart, and we need to make that connection. And once you make that connection with somebody, things happen.
They do. And folks, I can attest to the fact that Louise is a real deal. She is a gem. And in our world of awakening and spirituality, we healers and helpers know that our money, our pay, doesn't necessarily come from one to one. Often it's the next person that pays it forward. So if you find yourself in trouble and you need help, reach out. Don't do it alone. There is no need to. And if your life's not where you'd like it to be, I'd love you to be reminded that the journey of a lifetime begins with a single step. You must be the one that takes that step, as we did, both myself and Louise. Louise, thank you for your commitment and your contribution towards women. I honour you deeply.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. It's been a huge honour and a privilege, and I'm very appreciative of your time. Thank you.
Thank you. And folks, I urge you to take the easy road and connect with someone that inspires you to take quantum leaps and bounds in your life. You can find Louise, as we said, at louise-armstrong.com. You can find me at $1,000,000mindset.com. You'll find us both in our beautiful online Facebook community at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. And I'd like to thank you very, very much for joining us and wish you a fantastic day. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, Louise. Goodbye, folks.
Bye. Take care.